Welcome everybody
to the Per Sources Show. Yes.
New name.
New brand, new commentary, new talk, new everything. And not only do we have a new name, but we have a new sponsor. Bring it to us.
Bristol Farms, our newest sponsor. Thank you so much to them, the guys at Bristol Farms, your extraordinary food store.
And if it's not Bristol, as they say, it's not a farm. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's get over with the stupid NBA and on to the fall. And that means
The greatest league in the world. The NFL's back, baby. How you
National
feeling
Football
about that?
League
Woo!
is back.
Here we go.
And another year of no Tony Romo. It's going to be great. So let's get to it. Fantasy football, it's always fun. Let's get it going. Who's your number one pick? We got a couple drafts coming up. Who are you going to take? You go wide receiver? You go running back? There's some hot running backs going on right now.
Me, I'm always a running back guy. I just love my running backs. So I think I got to go with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah,
Just
Todd
a
Gurley
classic
might have
start.
a big year.
Todd
but it's
Gurley
also
as well.
a lot at
Yeah.
stake with the Rams. A lot of Hollywood talent they brought in this year, and
I don't think it's going to work for me personally.
I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work at all.
Jared Goff, the huge third
Hot
season.
Hot take, they're going 7-9. Hot take, burning hot take, take Quake, they're going 7-9.
Take
Yeah.
Quake. I
Yeah.
like that terminology. All right. Well, for me, I always go. I go quarterbacks first. It's Brady, Rodgers, or that's probably pretty much it. If it's not one of those two guys early, I can take one guy in the fourth round, like Derek Carr. Some avatar looking head ass. Anyway, not the point. I can't wait for the NFL to get started. We got a lot of takes, a lot of questions, and let's get it started. Let's start with the Pats, actually, because we might as well. They're the Pats. Do you believe all this hype around Belichick and Brady splitting up? I mean, it's year 19, 5 Super Bowls. They've been the best team for the last 2 decades. Is it falling apart or not?
For me, I think that the NFL or the people around the NFL want you to believe that it's becoming a problem because they want the league to seem, a little bit more competitive. You always gotta trust Brady. When he's at the helm of that offense, they're gonna go to the AFC Championship because they will never not do that.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna go back to the Super Bowl like always. I think that's just kind of speculations about Belichick and Brady. Realistically, they're gonna put that aside and they're gonna get it done like they always do.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're just fine. AFC East is garbage. Sam Darnold's gonna be a bust because he's a USC quarterback.
USC quarterback.
And
just awful.
Yeah, Josh McCown, really promising in his 14th team. And who else? Who else is a quarterback in that division? Oh, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh.
Huge threat, massive threat
Big arm.
in Miami. Big time arm.
They could go all the way.
Yeah, they might be able to go all the way.
I'm just saying.
Now with Kenny Stills as your
number one. Yeah, Devontae Parker, very talented there.
Yeah,
in Miami.
and Hard Rock Stadium is just
It's just terrific.
it is
From what I've heard, it's
the Square Stadium. It's up and
from
coming.
what I've heard, it's the best of the best.
So, AFC sucks. Let's talk about the NFC, which on the other hand is
Is
stacked.
amazing.
I have Minnesota or New Orleans going to the Super Bowl. I know you like to hear that. What do you
Love
like?
to hear it. Obviously, for my New Orleans Saints, it's kind of a make or break year. I feel like we're either going to be really good or pretty average, like kind of 7-9, or maybe a 12 and I don't know.
12.
Maybe 12-13 win year if we're lucky. I think that it's going to be us versus Minnesota in the NFC Championship game. I could not tell you who's going to win, but what about you? You think Minnesota?
I like Minnesota. I took them as my defense in one of my fantasy drafts pretty early. Just they're promising. They got everything on paper, but I don't know if I trust Kirk Cousins. I mean, he has 4,000 yards every single year that he was in Washington, but that was in Washington. Who cares? But we'll see. Harder division. More at stake. Got Rodgers twice a year.
Yeah, but he does have a good receiving core there. Thielen and Diggs obviously are really talented.
And he's got Dalvin Cook in the back, who could be a top 5
running
back.
I've been saying that the Vikings have pretty much the best overall team in terms of depth. They don't really have a weakness at any position now. You could have said last year it was quarterback with Keenum, but now Cousins definitely is a step up.
Yeah.
So I think that they're probably the most overall team that's ready to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Will they actually do that?
It's tough.
Left to be seen.
Yeah, it is Minnesota. So, give me your take on Matt Ryan. So we signed that 5-year, $150 million deal. What's your take? Is that the stupidest thing you've ever heard? Or is that a?
Well, as a Saints fan, nationally, I'm a Falcons hater, so
he
I'm not a big.
lose a Super Bowl 28-3. 13, 17 minutes.
We're going there. We're going there today, folks.
We're going there.
Yeah.
We're going.
I'm not the biggest Matt Ryan fan in the world. I think he's an okay quarterback. The fact that
I think he sucks.
The fact that Julio Jones had what did he have 5 touchdowns? Not less.
Maybe one catch for 4
like
yards.
three touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty terrible considering he's the best weapon offensively, arguably in the NFL. So.
Well, I just think how on earth do you have Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Julio
Right.
Jones? Now you have Calvin Ridley, you have
Mohamed
Matt Ryan,
Sanu.
and Sanu, and you can't be the number 1 seed. Now they won't make the Super Bowl this year because it's in Atlanta.
Right.
It's just a
Of
curse.
course. You got to roll.
And I
that
was
off.
gonna take him, but that's off the table.
Yeah, 100%.
Remember, brought to you per social show by Bristol Farms. If it's not Bristol, it's not a farm. Just keep it in mind. Seriously, it is the best water you can get in town, and that's not even talking about the food. But anyway, let's get back to it. NFC. So your prediction is New Orleans or Minnesota as well, or what?
Yeah, and
For the Super Bowl?
NFC Championship, I have Minnesota hosting against us, the Saints.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Minnesota just because I'm kind of that pessimistic Saints fan.
I feel that.
But I think it's gonna be a rematch that's just waiting to happen after last year's mess up that we won't talk about on the show because I'll
It's
have a
not
nervous
allowed.
breakdown again.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah. Any sleeper teams for you? I know you're a big Cleveland guy.
Well, my Browns,
First of all, what are your thoughts on them? And then give me maybe a sleeper pick out of either the AFC or NFC.
All right, I'll give you both. Okay, so Baker, they're going over 500 this year. I believe in it.
I do agree.
I think they could. And I'm going to say 6 wins.
Yeah.
Baker's my guy.
I say 7.
And here's the problem. The AFC North has one thing that no other division has. A quarterback controversy for every team. Big Ben's getting older. There's not much more he can do. Dude can barely walk anymore. You see him in training camp, he's a fat lug. And I think Mason Rudolph's a good quarterback that they drafted. Nobody wants Joe Flacco anymore. No one knows who Joe Flacco is, and they all want Lamar or
It's
RG3
Lamar
playing.
Jackson time.
It might be Lamar Jackson time.
Yeah.
Who's the other team? Cincinnati might be the worst team in the NFL. Andy Dalton sucks. He's lost 4 straight wild card games. He didn't even make the wild card last year. And Marvin Lewis is Marvin Lewis. I mean, he's like
Kind of
has a
choke
contract still. He's still a choke artist.
Yeah.
So that gives me my Browns, who also has a quarterback controversy because nobody wants Tyrod in because he's just, here's my belief with quarterbacks. Something that'll never change in sports. There's 2 things that will never change in sports. 1, the Dodgers turning their franchise around. And 2, I know you like that one. 2, successful running quarterbacks. It will never happen. It never has, and it never will. Pocket quarterbacks or pass-first quarterbacks win Super Bowls.
Yeah,
It's true. It
Yeah,
will
you-
never
you look-
change.
you look
It
across the
hasn't
league's
changed
history.
yet.
Breeze, Brady, Rodgers.
Joe Montana. I mean, you got your Steve Youngs, but he was a
Yeah,
pass first.
it's really rare to get
Pass first.
your running quarterbacks to actually end up doing great things. I mean, the last great running quarterback was probably Mike Vick, and we know what happened there.
Nothing happened.
Yeah,
Whatever. You can say it happened, but okay, he was good.
didn't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
though.
he was really good in 04 Madden.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's won 5 Super Bowls. Peyton Manning's won 2. Whatever. So, I watched the preseason game the other day. It was promising. Baker
He looked good.
had progression. He was looking downfield, moving his feet,
That-
and running when he needed to
that
run out
touchdown
of the
pass
pocket.
he had, he fitted in between 3 players. I thought was great.
Yeah, and the slant route was great. So, I mean, let's see what happens. But I think Baker's going to start before we know it. Because first game against Pittsburgh, maybe they'll get a lucky dub. But they're not beating New Orleans in New Orleans.
No.
So if they start 0-2, they're yanking him, they're yanking Hugh Jackson, and it's Baker time for the next, hopefully, decade.
All right.
So
That's
my
your-
sleeper
Yeah,
teams,
give me your sleeper team. Just one sleeper team.
I'm going to go with NFC. I'm going to trust Garoppolo just because he's sat behind Brady. So I'm going to take the Niners to take second in the NFC West. I'm going to say over LA and Arizona. I'm going to say Seattle wins that. Again, I don't know how. They're going to find a way to win. And then for the AFC, I'm going to take... God, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. I'll take the Browns, but I'll get back to you on my second team because I don't want to take the Browns just for a jinx reason. What about you? Who are your super
Yeah,
teams?
I like San Francisco. I just think Garoppolo's their franchise quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't know if do you trust 7 games worth $32 million? No chance. He played 7 games.
I don't know. I don't know. I like the Niners, especially in that division, because I think the Seahawks suck. I think the Cardinals might be one of the worst teams in the league. And then you already heard my opinion. My
Rams
bold
are
take on the
50-50.
Rams.
I mean, it could be a nightmare. It could be a super
Right. I think it's one of the two. They have so many really poor character players in that locker room, it could easily not work.
Too many hotheads.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna go with the Niners, but it's also something I have to think about really in the AFC. I like the Niners and Browns. I really like the Browns this year. People are saying they might make the playoffs or go 9-7.
Let's get out.
That's getting carried away. I like them to have 7-9 this year, which is obviously a
Huge.
ginormous step up from their last couple of years where they won one game.
Exactly. Now I want to talk to you about the Browns. Let's keep going. Per sources.
Mm.
Adam
Schefter.
Des,
Lockenfora. Who is it?
Jason Lockenfora.
Who is
Adam
it?
Schefter, I don't know. Are they all liable? No one knows. That's per sources. Des Bryant is in talks with the Browns. Now,
That's
is
true.
that a good fit? Is that a head case going into a determined team who wants to turn it around? Is Des going to be good? Or is he just going to want the ball and highlights and all that crap?
Honestly, I'm not a Des fan.
Yeah,
I drafted him on
right.
my fantasy team last year. He did absolutely nothing, so I very much dislike him. I think the Browns have enough at the receiving core,
Yeah.
at their wide receiver position for them to just hold off on him for now. I mean, they have enough good players there. Obviously, Landry's talented. And then Josh Gordon, if he can, get back on the field. I think they have enough there. And they don't really need someone with that mentality that Des Bryant has, for me personally.
I agree. I just think it's a distraction. I mean, there's already Josh Gordon in that receiving core who can't get off the weed. So, I mean, we'll figure it out.
Stay off the weed!
Yeah, stay off the weed.
Shout out Stephen A. Smith.
There we go.
Thank you.
Yeah, per sources.
Of course.
Last but not least, I want to talk about one more thing. Hall of Fame was 2 weeks ago. Now, T.O. is in the Hall of Fame, respectfully, I think. He's top 3 in everything.
Of course, yeah.
He didn't do it at the ceremony, his enshrinement. What's your take on that? Did you like that? They did it at UTC?
No, I mean, personally,
I mean, he missed the whole dinner. He missed the gold jacket ceremony
Yeah.
from the previous Hall of Famers. And then he missed the whole ceremony in front of all the Hall of Famers, in front of all the fans and family. So
yeah, I don't really understand it. It seems like kind of a disrespectful move. I don't really understand why he would not do it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't like it either. I mean, it was like whatever. That's just kind of who he is. I feel like he was a hothead.
He
His
kind
whole
of
career.
does his own thing too. He
Kinda
kind of
does his own thing,
rides
but,
on his own.
come on,
Does
man.
celebrations like
Come on.
celebrating on
We're
the
celebrating.
star.
We're celebrating you in the world you lived in for however many years you played. So, that's that. But here's something that also came up per Stephen A. Smith about a week and a half ago, saying that Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame person, but not a Hall of Fame quarterback. Yet he's beaten Brady
Yeah.
twice in the Super Bowl. He's won 2
He's
Super
really
Bowls.
been the only one to, beat Brady in a Super Bowl. I mean,
Yeah.
not the only one, of course, but
Take away Nick Foles.
to do it, yeah. I mean, okay.
Whatever. I mean, he's still threw for 500.
Eli Manning's done it twice, though. I mean, he's the
So-
only really well-known starting quarterback that's been able to get it done against Brady in the Super Bowl.
Now, he's been to the playoffs 2 out of the last 6 years, and 1 out of the last 9 years. So, I mean, I guess Stephen A. has a point, but he's won 2 Super Bowls. So, I mean, you
I
put
don't-
him in the Hall of Fame, right?
Of course. I don't get how he's not a Hall of Famer when someone like Drew Brees is a lock-in Hall of Famer and he's won 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I know obviously Eli Manning doesn't have the stats to back it up like Brees does, but for me, I don't think it's even a conversation. I feel like that was really disrespectful to Eli Manning. He's been nothing but class in this league.
Yeah. I mean, I can't stand the Mannings, I think. They're average. They're not, but, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not up for debate.
So
Now you're-
according to per sources,
he's
Stephen A. Smith
Is wrong.
and he's a Hall of Famer.
Stephen A. Smith is
According to
always
sources.
wrong.
Sources.
So, last one, Tony Romo. But he leads every single quarterback statistic record for Dallas, past Troy Aikman, all of it, with Tony Romo being in the NFL, or Hall of Fame. That's tough. He leads
Yes,
the pack.
for me he is.
Really?
No, actually, I might take that back.
He's won 2 playoff games in his career.
Yeah,
and those are
he
the
doesn't
only
have
2
the
playoff
record in
games.
the playoffs. If you take away the playoffs, I think for sure, but that's a huge thing, and obviously he doesn't have a Super Bowl, so I don't think you can't really put him in there.
And then, sorry, my bad, the very last one, Phillip Rivers. Is he a Hall of Fame quarterback?
Yes. I disagree. I think Phillip Rivers and Tony Romo are on a different level. I think Phillip Rivers is one of the most underrated quarterbacks to ever play the game. I seriously think that
hurts.
I don't know, living in San Diego in kind of a weird market, place to play football, I feel like no one's really given him the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
And their team is always kind of weird. Sometimes they don't have the best defense. I think the Chargers are going to be they're my sleeper team this year. Not really a sleeper team, but I think you're going to win
Phillip
the division
Rivers-
and it won't even be close.
Phillip Rivers is such a choke artist. He is such
Oh.
a choke artist.
I disagree.
Oh, pff.
Give me one example.
He was up 2 years ago in the week 1. He was up by 27
Oh,
points.
so you're talking about week 1 game?
No, I'm not done.
Oh my god.
21-3 AFC Championship 2007 or whatever, 2008 to the Pats, and then he lost. He can almost guarantee.
He also won that wild card game a couple years ago.
Oh, he won a wild card game. Andy Dalton has been a 4 straight wild
Didn't win a
card
wild
game.
card game.
Listen, Phillip Rivers, you're more likely to get an interception on Phillip Rivers in the last 2 minutes than a touchdown. Yes. He hasn't been to the playoffs in like 6 years.
They're going this year though. We can bet any amount of money per sources.
Per sources, the Chiefs might. What am I saying? No, the Chargers will win that division.
Yeah.
Chargers are going to the playoffs. I can't believe I'm saying that.
All
The
right.
Los Angeles Chargers with 10,000
I'd have to
seats in their
think about
stadium.
it again, but for me, like my gut opinion is that Rivers should be in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just wrong. But,
That's
got
gonna,
anything else to talk about?
I think that's gonna wrap it up for today.
Just going to wrap it up. Remember, this is the Per Sources Show. Please support the team. Brought to you by Bristol Farms. What do we got? If it's not Bristol, it's not a
It's
farm.
not a farm, as
Thank
they say, per sources. Thank you guys.
We'll see you guys soon.
See you soon.